same wall, measured with a ruler, is at a 90-degree right angle. However, after changing the position, a strange sight occurred. What's even stranger is that a glass of water poured on a level ground. It will also immediately split in two. After Jack noticed the anomaly in the house, he hurriedly took out a tape measure from his drawer. First, he measured the living room of the house. The length he got was 10 meters. Then he measured the same spot outside the living room. It turned out to be a maze to find. The length inside the living room is 3 meters longer than outside the living room. Even the daughter was shocked, because this does not conform to the laws of physics at all. Back to 3 days ago, when they first moved in, both of them were satisfied with the decoration style. However, Jack suddenly heard some kind of sound, but his wife said there was no anything movement. The large corridor was like a maze. By the time they had finished checking the house, the time came at night. His daughter was playing a hand shadow game at bedtime. Results: one more black shadow suddenly appeared on the wall. She was shocked. Fortunately, her father came in at that moment. She told her father about the incident, but he didn't even care. After Jack left the room, the girl put her head under the covers in fear, and the dark figure flashed again. Then Jack came downstairs and got ready for bed with the lights off. By this time the clock read 10 o'clock. His wife was in bed waiting for him, and Jack from the living room to the study. Just as he was about to turn off the lamp and go upstairs, the room behind him suddenly opened its door, and the light came on. Curious, he went in to check, but discovered a picture of myself with the lights off. Although the picture felt a little horror, but he didn't think much of it either. He turned around and went back upstairs to get ready for bed. Found his wife already asleep. However, he did not notice the time on the clock next to him. In the time it took him to go downstairs and turn off the lights, a full 5 hours had elapsed. Strange things happened one after another. First, he woke up at night with nightmares. Unable to sleep, he went to his study to work, only to find an extra line of writing in his book, and the handwriting was exactly the same as his own. Contents of the above is: get out of here as soon as possible. But he didn't remember writing that line. At that moment there were footsteps behind him. He turned around with a start, but found nothing unusual. He thought he was just overworking himself. Unexpectedly, the sound of a door slamming again came from behind him. He looked back and was horrified. Jack saw a door appear out of nowhere where the bookshelf used to be. Jack opens the door, looking down the bottomless staircase. Curiosity led him down to check it out, only to find a large number of surreptitious photographs at the bottom, all from when they first moved in. He also found his daughter in one of the rooms, but unfortunately, she had drowned. Jack couldn't accept this, but suddenly he woke up. Jack was glad it was just a bad dream. Afterwards, he took his wife to the study. Jack told her about the extra door on the bookshelf and the nightmare, but after a careful examination, nothing unusual was found. The constant nightmares were too much for Jack to bear. After discussing with his wife, they decided to move out of the house, but as Jack was packing his things, he saw the heartwarming image of his wife and daughter playing outside the window. He then took out his mobile phone and sent a message to his wife saying how cute they were. He realized that his wife had another mobile phone, and the messages he sent were received by this phone. So who was his wife sneaking around outside replying to messages from? Jack suspects he's been cuckolded. He confronted his wife with the phone, but Lisa refused to admit it, and says she has a right to privacy. She was very upset that Jack was looking at her phone. She then drove away to cool off on her own. However, as soon as Lisa left, Jack found the line of message from the dream in his notebook, and there was an additional line of text. It read that it was too late to leave. Now he and his daughter are the only ones left in the large villa. At that moment, his daughter accidentally broke the glass of water on the table. Jack saw the water on the floor was divided into 2 piles, and the next scene is the one that starts the movie. When they learned that there were 5 meters more inside the house than outside, the daughter suddenly felt a chill coming on. Then she went into her room to put on her coat, but just as she opened the door to get out, and then the strange scene happened again. Ellie disappeared. The same wall, measured with a ruler, is at a 90-degree right angle. However, after changing the position, a strange sight occurred. What's even stranger is that a glass of water poured on a level ground will immediately split in two. After the man noticed the anomaly in the house, he hurriedly took out a tape measure from his drawer. First, he measured the living room of the house. The length he got was 10 meters. Then he measured the same spot outside the living room. It turned out to be a maze to find. The inside is 3 meters longer than the outside. The daughter suddenly felt a chill coming on. Then she went into her room to put on her coat, but just as she opened the door to get out, and then the strange scene happened again. Ellie disappeared. Jack thought she was playing hide and seek. Opened the door her daughter had just come out of. On the floor were the clothes she had just put on. Realizing that his daughter might be in danger, he rushed around the villa looking for her, but when he searched every corner, he still couldn't find his daughter. At this moment, his daughter had arrived in another dimension. She crossed the long corridor. At the end of the corridor there was a bathtub. On the other side, Jack started looking for his daughter everywhere, but the structure of the house became stranger and stranger. Opened the door from the second floor, but came into the ground floor living room. It was like walking into a maze. In order not to lose his way, he moved a chair from the doorway to block the way, but as soon as he turned around, a bizarre scene occurred. The corridor that was only 1 meter had become 50 meters. Then Jack arrived at the study. The door that had only appeared in his nightmares, now it had reappeared on the bookshelf. He suspected that his daughter might be in there, but as soon as he opened the door and stepped inside, the door behind him suddenly closed of its own accord, and that's when the little girl met an old man. The girl screamed in terror at his words. The father heard his daughter's screams. He kicked open the door of the room, only to find himself back in the living room again. That's when the missing daughter was finally found in the stairwell. Luckily, she was only in shock and not seriously injured. He felt the house in danger. Jack would never let his daughter out of his sight again. He rushed to the phone to contact his wife, but couldn't get through. He had no choice but to contact the owner of the shop for help. He wanted to borrow a car from him to get out of the house, but the owner said that Dason would never be able to leave the house.